Okay.
So when was the last time you cooked at home?
Well, I always help my cook, actually.
Okay.
That is by the village.
Okay.
Or the riverside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, but this is the first time I'm going to cook this thing.
Yeah?
Whatever.
So which of your daughters is the best cook?
No, they're all fantastic.
They're all fantastic.
Yes, they're
Yeah?
pretty good, very good.
Yeah? Okay. So Yvonne said she had a crush on you. She still has a crush on you. Crushes are supposed to vanish at some point. But
yes.
In her case, they never diffuse.
I think maybe after today, because finally I'm cooking with him, so maybe, hopefully.
It will die. But that's so sad.
I got to move on. I got to move on.
But how do you feel? How do you feel when you meet all of these young people who tell you stories of how you have inspired them and how they feel that you've changed so much in this country, and sometimes some wish that you were still president because of some levels of indiscipline in this country. How does it make you feel?
Yeah, the indiscipline has created a lot of stress, taking so much positive energy out of the system. But I guess the president has outlined how he intends to deal with it, starting with the unsanitary situation around, which is very good.
I remember years ago, you actually went into a gutter in Nima. I
Oh,
remember it
yes,
so
yes,
well.
yes.
So well. I was so young, but I saw him in a gutter with a shovel and a spade, just, you know, digging the dirt out. But things haven't changed much.
Bruh, you're cooking too much.
He's running fast, huh?
Yes, fine. Please, please.
You can Google it, Yvonne, don't worry.
Oh,
Take your phone out and Google it. Yeah, so you believe that this administration will make headway, right?
Yeah, in terms of what the president has outlined and how he intends to tackle it, and people will be held responsible for not taking care of the environment.
Okay, I see you're struggling with that.
Oh, don't worry.
It's actually a beautiful sight. Soja on the Apotayowa. It's not easy, but yeah. You know you can add a bit of water, just a little bit of water.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, tips from the chef.
See.
She's
Oh,
going to
damn
help you out.
Okay.
Try it.
Okay, so he helps him out, and then he can fry. Anyway, so back to my question. Apart from that, the inspiration you give to all of these young people. I've been to your office. I've seen you surrounded by some very brilliant young people.
Correct.
And it's not just them. So many of them.
Yes.
How does it make you feel? I mean, when you look back, did you feel that at some point people were going to resonate this way?
Oh, that's for sure. But talking about the brilliance of the young people, and especially the ladies, it gives me so much satisfaction. It's like dealing with a divine gift, you know, when I run into some very outstanding minds. I wish God had given me that kind of brain, you know. But, Sharon, it's okay, just pay attention to that. Sorry, it was burning me, Mali. Why you get minimum?
Minimum. Okay, let's see. There you go.
This one, we can all tell who's going to win. This is just...
You know.
Yvonne, don't worry.
And
you're hating.
Fake.
now, the point is, I think women, the female in general, have always held or been given the short end of the stick.
Absolutely.
You know? And when I see them, you know something, let me tell you some interesting story about a lady in this country who could qualify as the #1 in the Guinness Book of Records in terms of flying an airmanship. Yes, she arrived in the States, and the day before, she happens to be a pilot. Yes. And she had collected her Oxford British license, that of the European license as well.
Okay.
And she wanted to top it up with the American license.
Right.
When she arrived in the U.S., I think the day before or so, an East African lady who was under training,
Okay.
had gotten lost in the air, and she was brought back to the airport using the radar. So when she arrived at the school, I think some of the young men, whites mostly, almost all white, looked at her and looked at the instructor and sort of asked, you know, in some kind of cynical manner,
Right.
Another one.
Oh, God.
Correct.
Because she was a woman. And
A woman and black and from Africa.
Right.
So she noticed there was going to be an exam in about 2 weeks' time. A week or two?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's getting there.
So she told the instructor she'd like to do that exam right now. I think she knew what she was about.
Right.
And the instructor apparently asked, "Are you sure?" She said yes. And they gave her the exam right there and then. 100 questions to be answered in either 1.5 or 2 hours. Listen carefully. She answered all those questions in 13, not 30,
Wow.
13 minutes.
1-3.
1-3, and she hit 98%.
Wow.
Correct.
Wow.
While she was in the school, she taught her own instructor, one of the white females, you know, to pass her theory exams and to finally earn her license as an airline pilot.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
She's amazing. You people must meet her
It'll be
and
ex-
expose her.
Yeah.
You must.
It'll be excellent. It'll be great to meet her.
When she came back to Ghana and was looking for a job, wherever she went to, it was the usual nonsense.
Yeah.
And thankfully, she said, "To hell with you," to each and every one of them. She shouldn't have left for Nigeria,
But she left.
but she did and was able to secure an executive aircraft, which she brought to Ghana. So that's what she's operating right now.
Oh, that's
But the
amazing.
beauty of it is that, I don't know, God has a way of putting these brilliant, you know, youngsters in front of me.
That's
And I just can't resist them.
Yeah.
You know, people, you're so proud of them.
Sorry
Sorry.
to cut this very interesting conversation.
Yes.
The chef is doing everything. It's just
No.
You know, you can actually copy. There is no law against copying.
Cheno.
So copy. Watch
Okay.
and learn. And do same. Yeah.
doing everything.
That's all compensation.
She kept me busy talking. She kept me busy talking.
Okay, I read that.
Anyway.
But
so,
you know, it's so unfortunate that with all the effort, with all her brilliance, she should have such difficulties in getting employment.
But it happens
You know.
to a lot of women.
Yes.
I mean, we have come such a long way.
Yes.
And we know the tremendous efforts your wife, for instance, made.
Thank you.
In helping to empower women across the country. And in fact, in some cases, beyond
Correct.
the borders of this country.
Correct.
Yet you still find women being discriminated against in terms of salary, in terms of opportunities, and it just cuts across the board. Is that something you think as a society we are missing? Or we are not doing right?
You know, I think we should learn to see the value in the golden rule. To do unto others as you would wish
we
them
should.
to do to you.
Yeah.
Irrespective
Copycat.
of whether it's a male,
yeah.
female, or
I agree.
whatever.
Fantastic.
You know, the day Africa will begin to wake up to the value of womanhood, then we'll begin to see socio-economic justice, a true transformation on this continent.
Okay. Yvonne, what are you doing?
Flies,
Sorry.
Flies. It's just ridiculous. Flies
Chef,
everywhere.
Ignore
Just
this
the
girl,
smell.
copycat. But Yvonne, it's okay.
The smell is just, so the flies.
Flies in the studio. There are no flies in the studio.
Onuba,
Shelley's
okay.
shows have no flies. Shelley's production is fly free.
Okay.
Today I killed
Yeah,
some flies.
fly free.
Fly. Wait, I have to be careful.
Say it. Fly. Fly free.
Very fast?
Yeah.
Fly free. Fly free. Fly free. Fly free.
So
fly
who's
free.
going to eat all these?
Oh, we'll not
The
eat.
people in the studio?
Yes,
Yes,
all of us.
all of us.
Can you imagine? It's such an honor, right?
Exactly.
The ex-president cooked for you.
And my food is going to
Ghana's
taste better.
longest-serving president.
Yes.
So what are your fondest memories of His Excellency? No, sir. But I remember when I was
no,
really young, that's when he jumped into that gutter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I will never, ever forget. Never,
Yep.
ever. Yeah.
Yep.
So, what's your fondest memory?
Let me start.
Go ahead.
You don't remember anything he said or did?
I mean, I can't remember exactly, but I know that I used to always watch him.
I
like, when
thought you
they're
talk
doing-
about the switch to JHS.
Yeah.
To the Konkonte.
Yes, that as well. You see, because he's here and I'm under pressure, there's so many
You
things.
don't know.
But why are you using palm oil? Do you use palm oil?
Yeah, you can use vegetable
Yeah, you
oil if
can.
you like.
Okay.
It's burning. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of things about him as well.
Yeah.
From people, ordinary
I
people.
really
you
want to
know.
know something quickly.
But you just mentioned something. What was that? Some kind of food she mentioned earlier.
Konkonte.
Kokonte. What about kokonte?
No, the uniform. When we switched to
Brown,
VHS.
yes.
The brown.
The brown, the deep
brown,
brown,
the
and
deep
then
brown
the
and
light
light
brown.
brown.
Kokonte and
Kokonte and Katenkwai. Kokonte and
Oh,
walnuts.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh, well, we
Okay.
just taught you something.
Yeah.
It was called
Yeah.
Kokonte
Oh.
and Katenkwai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's in fine.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets?
About
Anything
Anything.
you did
Spatula.
no,
as president?
no.
Not a single one.
Well, maybe come to think of it, what is regrettable is that people who committed crimes against the state, the nation, were subjected to the heaviest possible punishment. And when you go that far, you do that. You don't turn around and commit the crimes for which others lost their lives.
Okay.
You know, and I'm talking about
It's not fair.
corruption. So
Yeah, I don't want you to.
this is what hurts me the most, that, you know, we couldn't maintain the standard. We couldn't maintain the level of integrity
What happened?
that would keep us above.
What happened? What went wrong?
This is unfair. He has to do the rest. It's not fair.
Because really, you were in charge for almost 20 years.
No. It didn't happen in my time, mind you. No.
They wouldn't.
I
dare.
guess this is why I'm being, yes. I'll say that we brought the best out of our people. Yes, especially during that revolutionary period. 79 was a time of rage, you know, but our second coming. And we did so well
Can he?
that our people gave us, you know,
He's spoiling
when-
the shito.
what's the word? When we went, people have a tendency of saying when we moved from the PNDC into democratic rule. It's wrong, very wrong. We were very democratic throughout that period. We only went into constitutional rule, not democratic rule, okay? Democracy was with us. It was the lack of it that led to that punitive measure in 79, and then our return. And it was fantastic, so creative, so purposeful, you know? But I guess when I talk,
It's just a cocoa.
some people have a problem with my saying some of these things. They call it boom boom or boom.
You boom. You heard it. That you boom. Anytime
No,
you
no,
say you're
no,
going to interview His Excellency Chairman Rawlince,
Yes,
hey, he's about to boom.
To boom.
Yeah.
No. But
You can't find
know,
what? Your spatula. Yeah.
Oh,
A bad
sorry.
workman always blames his tool.
what's a spatula?
This is very unfair. Benkuta.
What's a
Look for it.
spatula?
It's Benkuta.
The bankuta.
This thing. This
Yes.
one. Oh, okay.
So I think now it's your turn.
Yes.
Can you
Sure.
turn it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did this for my mother when I was about 7 or 8.
Yvonne.
The first time,
Okay.
you know.
Yvonne, I've got
and the
questions
first
for you.
time I washed my uniform.
You wash your uniform?
Oh, yes. When I was a little boy.
Oh, before Achimota.
Well, before Achimota, when I used to be in St. Joseph's, no, they used to call it Roman Catholic school then. Yes. But of course, I must admit that it was very watery. Oh, Auntie Vic. But she ate it.
Okay. She enjoyed it?
I don't know, but
She never mentioned. Okay. So, Yvonne,
I
some
could
of the
see she
things-
was having difficulties.
All right. So I'm sure you've heard a lot of stories about Chairman Rawlince. A lot of it.
Yes.
I don't even want to start giving you some of the stories I have.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the story about the corruption issue. So when you're finished,
Okay, I'll
let me
come
know.
back
You
to
come
corruption.
back. Right.
So what are some of these things? Just so that he clarifies
Yeah.
all of these perceptions people
Yeah.
have about him.
I really want to know. I watched this little clip of him and Honorable
Akufo-Addo.
where we call it part in the Red Sea. Where it's like you're walking, sir, and then he was coming, then you did.
Come, should we act it?
Yes.
Should we act it?
Yeah.
So I'm Chairman
Yes.
Rawlince.
No, you're Honorable Akufo-Addo.
I'm honorable.
I'm
Why not? Why?
Chairman
No, I want to be.
Rawlince.
No, I want to be Chairman
Come
Rawlince.
on.
No.
Okay.
Be,
I'm okay.
Be the mayor.
Okay.
Okay. So. Wait, let's go.
You're taking too long.
Let's go.
Okay,
you people.
go. No, he parted the Red Sea. He did.
He said,
Part the
no,
Red
he
Sea.
said,
Stop.
he said,
Then he parted the Red Sea. Yes. So,
and then you walk out. Okay, so let's do
okay.
it.
So, he's my friend. I feel terrible.
Me too. He's my friend.
Yeah,
That's why
no.
he wants me. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So I'm Chairman Rawlince.
Yes.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Is this what I did?
What you did? Everybody it was trending.
It went viral.
So we really want to know what happened.
What happened? No, but he made up for it.
You made,
In
yes, we saw it
Parliament,
that you
yeah.
were making amends, but then
No,
we just want to know what happened. What was the conversation?
No. The point is, they were all messing me up. When this man was alive, what's his name?
Paul.
Professor Mills.
They were messing you up.
Of course, if
How?
you didn't insult my wife and I, you couldn't end up with a job. And if he could be dragged all the way from the U.S. to come and be a mayor, in an important place like in Accra, then obviously they must be quite close. I would have expected people like him to have spoken to advise the prof and things like that, but much of that didn't happen.
How about the story of Yokegari?
Hold on. Yokegari.
Yeah. That you bought Yokegari on credit and you never paid.
Yes, it's true.
Oh.
No, I think we must have paid afterwards.
After
But
how
the
many
point is that we were preparing to engage in the World Military Games.
Okay.
The boxing was taking place in Ghana.
Okay.
And we had some of the finest boxers, in the armed forces in those days. But the food was horrible. We were going through very bad times. There was a time I actually went to the state house, the old colonial, that's the state house. Yeah. And grabbed, a tray with pizzas and whatnot meant for the castle into my mother's car, and I drove away. She was screaming her head off just to go and give to those boys.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something to improve on their diet because we're taking them through some very rigorous, tough, hard training. And I'd go and join them personally, early in the morning. And on this particular day, as we moved along the beach, almost getting to the castle and turning left, was this lady selling her Yokegari. I know what? She's having a hard time.
Let me
Yawale.
so you start with your story.
I'll deal with this
What
one.
stew? Am I supposed to do stew?
But what are you going to do?
It's finished now.
So that's it.
Is this what you wanted?
Yes.
No, this
It
is not about bitadi.
It is about bitadi.
Right, Jesus.
It is about bitadi.
Actually, so.
Oh.
Petri Mokonu.
If you would do now, we now.
Get me there, show me more.
No.
Hello.
Anyway,
Call me there, feeling again.
Mine from the correct.
It will
so
improve.
you eventually
Yours
paid
is the
the
Buffalo's one.
Yokegari.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It must have been done.
Yeah.
You know something? So we brought, and there was this lady selling Yokegari. And the point is, you're in your tracksuit. Who carries monies or coins in a tracksuit when you're training? I don't know. No, not us. Because we're going to be running for close to 5 miles.
Right.
So I believe I must have told her, I'd like to have some for the boys. And that's exactly what happened. Of course, the next thing was the explosion.
Yeah.
But when the explosion happened, 15 May preceded June 4. Odate Wellington, sadly, went to 5BN, and was telling the soldiers all kinds of horrible things. You know, this story. Yeah, flee or get in pay, useless officer.